Hey everybody, my name's Kyle and this is Great 28 Live on Track by Track. Every day this month I'm picking one of my 28 favorite live albums and posting a short video highlighting what I think makes it great. Today I'm making a bit of a controversial choice and including an album in this year's Great 28 that also appeared on last year's list. It isn't so much that including it on the list 2 years in a row is all that controversial, but whether or not to refer to Rattle and Hum by U2 as a live album has been a source of some debate. As I mentioned last year, I'd gotten some flack for not counting Rattle and Hum as a studio album when I reviewed Songs of Experience. The truth of the matter is the album does have more new studio recordings than it does live tracks, but not by much. 9 of the songs on Rattle and Hum are new studio tracks, while 6 of them are live. The remaining 2 tracks are snippets of music by other artists. In any case, just as it's probably not fair to call Rattle and Hum a studio album, it's also not truly a live album. As I've said before, it's really more of a hybrid of the two, which is part of what I love about it. But I think that in the overall commercial discography of U2, the live tracks on this album have earned a place of significance. Consider this, U2 has only ever commercially released one live album, and that's 1983's Under a Blood Red Sky. Yes, the band has included live recordings as bonus discs in some special editions like with the Joshua Tree, and they've released some live shows as fan club exclusives. But when it comes to actual standalone live albums from U2, there really is only one. So when you consider the fact that Under a Blood Red Sky had 8 live tracks, and then the Wide Awake in America EP in 1985 had 2 live tracks on it, the 1988 release of Rattle and Hum effectively increased the live material commercially available from U2 by 60%. So it's not that the studio recordings aren't great, because they are, but the shocking scarcity of live releases from this band makes these recordings even more vital. And in a way, I think the band knew that. It was a bold choice not only to cover the Beatles' Helter Skelter in concert, but also to use that unusual live recording as the opening track on their follow-up to the monster hit that was the Joshua Tree. It's a blistering version of a song that many young U2 fans at the time may never have heard in its original form. The same goes for their great cover of All Along the Watchtower. Obviously, U2's version hews closely to the Jimi Hendrix version, which itself is arguably better known than the Bob Dylan original, neither of which were probably familiar to the majority of teenage U2 fans in 1988. But hey, if Rattle and Hum served as a gateway to the music of Hendrix, Dylan, and the Beatles, that's pretty hard to complain about. In addition to the covers, though, there's 4 U2 songs performed live here that I would argue may even surpass the original studio recordings. To begin with, there's Silver and Gold, a song Bono originally recorded with Peter Wolf, Ron Wood, and Keith Richards for the Sun City Protest album. Its appearance on Rattle and Hum makes it a first for U2 as a band. And then there's 2 vibrant performances of Pride in the Name of Love and Bullet the Blue Sky. Both are delivered with a sense of urgency and intensity that's inexplicably escalated from the already urgent and intense original versions. Finally, there's the gospel-infused reinvention of I Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For. To say that this new live rendition surpasses the original is maybe a little unfair, if only because it takes this song to such a unique new place that it's no longer an apples-to-apples comparison. Perhaps a better way to put it is that the Rattle and Hum version stands as its equal in terms of sonic greatness. And for what it's worth, I also want to mention that the film version of Rattle and Hum features more than twice as much live music as the album. It would have been quite easy for U2 to have released a full-length live album just by adding songs like Sunday Bloody Sunday, Bad, Where the Streets Have No Name, With or Without You, Running to Stand Still, MLK. See, there's 6 more songs right there. They could have doubled the live music based on what was in the Rattle and Hum movie. And there's even more where that came from. In any case, maybe I'm cheating a bit to include this on a list of live albums, all the rest of which have been live in the most traditional sense and interpretation of the word. Still, I would say that this album contains some of the most important live output ever to be released by one of the biggest bands in the history of rock and roll. And for that reason alone, this album deserves consideration, to say nothing for the additional 9 studio recordings, all of which are excellent and essential. So I hope you'll Forgive my indulgence putting this on a list of live albums and indeed highlighting it 2 years in a row, but it really is that good. No, it really is that great. Rattle and Hum by U2. Today's entry in the Great 28 Live. That's it for today's episode. As always, I'll try to include Amazon ordering links in the description below if you want to add any of the music that I've highlighted to your collection. And before you go, please take a second to click subscribe so that you don't miss the next episode of Great 28 Live, as well as many more videos to come. Once again, my name's Kyle, and this has been Track by Track. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.